Okay, fingers crossed.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. I do not know. Internet wants to be internet today. Everything was fine all morning. We had a fantastic stream this morning. It does get better. Great use here, Golden Throat. Thank you for subscribing to the channel over here. So, in the debacle of everything that happened, I'm going to back up a question and then go forward. So we were talking, setting the timeline for Cheer's life to try and understand a little bit more about her lived experience. So we were talking about her lived experience in New Jersey, being Sicilian and growing up in there. She's a double cancer survivor and was talking about cancer in her childhood. So if you don't mind just repeating it real quickly about your experience with cancer, and then I'm going to move into our next question after that.
Yeah, of course. So I first was diagnosed with cancer when I was 12 in 2004. I had thyroid cancer. It went through my whole thyroid, two of my parathyroids, most of my lymph nodes. It was wrapped around my esophagus, my vocal cords, and went to the back of my neck. So they ripped all that out. And then it came back when I was 18 in 2009 on my right side.
Okay.
And so they just like ripped out all the lymph nodes on that side just to be sure it can't come back again. Knock on wood.
So knock on wood. I have wood here. Everyone, yourself as well. Knock on some wood. So that gives us some context. And we were talking about how whenever Cheer would potentially get into fights growing up, that people would use the cancer card to have Cheer get out of fights. And Cheer always wanted to get into them, but never did. So when you're in voice chat in Call of Duty, where is it? Every game? Is it occasional games? Because people only see the anger side of things a lot of times with your content on TikTok. So how often is it?
I feel like it's gotten less. Like there's times where like, well, good, yes, but also bad for content.
Yeah.
Because there's times where I'm like, I whisper into the mic, my viewers see. I'm like, please, Call of Duty, give me a toxic lobby. Give me a toxic lobby.
Just one today.
Just give me the most misogynistic Southern men you've ever heard, please. So yeah, I'd say I stream for like 5 hours and I'll get like at least 2 pretty toxic games.
Okay. And for those who don't know, who haven't played Call of Duty, how does the voice chat work? Is it you and your team? Is it the entire lobby? Do you hear it only when someone's going to get killed? How do I hear someone else talking Call of Duty?
Yeah, so I play the game mode Search and Destroy, which is like a 6v6 mode where your goal is to either plant the bomb or like defend your 2 A and B.
Okay, so kind of like Valorant for those who haven't.
It's just like Valorant.
Okay.
But so you hear everyone in the pregame lobby, and you could kind of tell who's on your team, but like not really.
Okay.
And then you load in and you hear your team, and you hear the enemies after you kill them. You get like a 3-second blip of what they're saying, and then in between each round, you can talk to the enemies. So it's just a recipe for toxicity.
Like, if I was writing a recipe for toxicity, it's right there. I kind of love the 3 seconds, though. The 3 seconds of, like, because, like, if you got a good kill, you want to hear the person be like, oh, God dang it. And, like, that, does that feel good?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It has to.
Especially, like, halfway through when they're like, the girl killed me. And I'm like, yeah, I did.
You're like, I'm going to do it again next round, too.
Yep.
And so you started playing, as we were talking in the beginning, you started playing in the pandemic. Where is your rank at this point? Like, where do you see yourself rank wise against other players?
I'd say I'm average.
Okay.
I actually once saw this really great TikTok. I forget who the creator was, but they talked about how women have to improve faster in video games than men because typically we weren't raised with it. And so like I'm definitely better than like the average gamer who like plays here and there, but I'm not like super cracked. And now chat's going to start yelling because my community likes to say I'm super cracked, but I'm not. There's so many
Okay.
amazing creators who are so much better than me, but I'm like above
But
average.
you're good.
Yeah.
You're not like you're gonna go home to someone and someone's gonna be like, yeah, she's really really good. But then other people, the top 500, are gonna be like, oh, this mistake here, this mistake there.
Yeah.
Do you have a coach when you're playing? Like you
No.
mentioned early. Okay, so no coach. Do you want a coach? Like, do you want to improve gameplay? Like, where does that look like for you?
So honestly, my favorite way to improve gameplay is to watch streamers who are better than me. Because I feel like it really gives you a great idea of like strategies and movement and
Mm-hmm.
like oh, I never thought like you could peek through that little crack and like snipe the guy across the map.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I feel like I get better from watching people who are better.
Yeah, and I would agree. I watch some people who like give me some advice in Overwatch, which is, I'm not sure if it's something in Call of Duty. You have the opportunity to send your match code to someone. So the entire gameplay is recorded after every match. You can send a code to someone and they have a phantom camera and can watch the entire match with the phantom camera
Oh,
and can like
wow.
move it. So it's really nice for like review, and like you can pause it at certain points and be like, you should have stood here instead of standing here. And like that's helped me the most. Because I went from bronze and now I'm gold 5 currently. And that's like top 60% of players is like that.
That's
It's like
awesome.
where I'm at the moment. So slowly getting there, slowly learning. So we talked about how it's not every match, but it potentially used to be every match. Like, are there times where you just have to mute the lobby and it just gets overwhelming and just becomes too much? Or what does that feel like for you in those moments?
It never gets too much for me, which I don't think is healthy.
Okay.
But
We can talk
if,
about that.
if I mute, it's usually because they're saying slurs,
Okay.
or if they're being extra gross.
Mm-hmm.
I never mute for myself. I mute for my community because
Okay.
I know like that could be triggering for people in chat. Like if I'm solo queuing, I'll just leave them open and be like, okay, like keep saying horrible things. I'll just send them into my contacts at Call of Duty and you'll get banned. So yeah, I pretty much mute for slurs or like anything really horrible. Though there was only actually one time like a week or so ago.
Recent. Okay.
Yeah, I loaded into a lobby and there was someone making fun of a girl from New Jersey who recently took her life. She was like a teenage girl.
Yeah,
and
I
they
don't
were
love
like
that.
they were making fun of it, and because like that girl was like from the area I'm from, I knew people who went to that high school, and I like felt my blood boil, and I was like, this is making me so angry. I need to back out of this lobby because I'm not going to be productive or healthy or good for stream. So I'm going to back out and take a breather because I am very angry right now.
Yeah.
So that was the only time that I could think of.
Okay. So I want to talk about post-stream care. And because you talked about how a lot of times you are defending it for your community, and you're not so much defending it for yourself. Like, what in moments where you have these high energy, high anger, high frustration moments, what does that look like for you after stream? Do you like have a long after stream care schedule? Like, what do you do after stream for that?
I just sit here and I watch streams.
Okay.
I just watch more Call of Duty and like talk to my friends on Discord. But like the thing is is when streaming and playing, it's it's not the game or like the like hearing people be horrible that like drains me. It's honestly, well, I don't want to say drains because that's like negative. The thing that like feels like the most like doing work that I like want to turn off after stream is like reading chat. So I'll hang out in my friends' chats, but like I always tell people like if you say hi to me when I'm in a chat and I'm not streaming, I'm so sorry if I don't say hello. Like I don't read
like
chat.
do not perceive me. I am not here. Do you feel like you have to, sometimes people have talked about this of having like a viewer account and a streamer account where like you have a separate. Yeah, so apparently a lot of the big streamers on Twitch, they have 2 accounts. They have their actual account that has their check mark on it, and then they have a nobody account that like their friends and other streamers like know that it's their account, but they don't do that. I've thought about doing it because like my name's Shawn on Twitch. So like I go into a chat, and even if I turn my partner badge off, people are like, who are you?
Yeah.
You seem important. You seem important. And it's like, I want to watch the stream. I want to be the viewer, and I want to let the streamer have their space. I don't like want to pop in and be like, it's the me show, even though it's not. I had my me show. I had my stream already for the day. So we're talking about these lobbies and the consistency of the hate. What advice do you have? I'm going to say general advice for people who want to play Call of Duty and are worried about that voice chat, or want to play any game and are worried about that voice chat.
My people ask me this often, and like my go-to advice is like, don't be afraid to mute. I know I rarely mute, and I know I fight with them, but if that's not good for like your mental, mute them. You don't need them. It's fine. You don't have to listen to them. But if you like want to do what I do, just yell at them. Just say whatever comes to mind. I don't think before I speak. I call people walnuts. Like, hello? There's so many times I say things, then I'm like, oh no, that was okay. Like, I guess I came up with that one.
So that's like the general advice. What do you have advice for fellow femme people, and as well as queer people who are coming online? Because the hate is even more and more targeted, and oftentimes it's targeted at first word because of a lisp, or because of a tone, or because of anything of that nature that someone picks up right away.
I would just say that like the loudest people are the worst, censoring the curse words.
Yep.
The loudest people are the worst people, but they are not the majority. Like being in this like realm for the last 2 years, there are so many like queer people and trans people, and like there is a whole community of like people like us, but we have been forced to mute and like be quiet, and that's what they want. They want us to be silenced. But if we fight back and make ourselves known, it brings other people in. Like I've had people tell me like, I stopped playing Call of Duty, but you inspired me to like pick it back up because of like what you're doing. And like, oh, I've always muted my mic, but you've inspired me to like start talking back and like stand up for myself. And like the more we do that, the more we will overpower the louder, horrible people.
No, exactly. And that's the thing. There was all these studies that have been done about different situations. And I'm going to talk about one that was done regarding, I think it was Valorant or League of Legends, where they had the top 5 best male players in that region play, and had a voice change. I played match 1, muted, won match 1, like very, very quickly. And match 2 had a voice changer to have them sound female, and very quickly, even though they were top on the kill board, lowest deaths, best everything, like the hate just came and just came there. So it's like you have this double-edged sword of like, you want to prove that you're better because you are better than them at the game, but then that's not enough.
No.
So it's hard to like find these spaces. And you mentioned you found this space right away on TikTok. Where else are you finding spaces to meet other femme people who are playing FPS games and things of that nature?
Mainly TikTok, and also like hanging out in streams, people coming into my stream, me hanging out in other like women and queer people streams and seeing who they're playing with and like who's in their community. And it's just like a nice little spider web of like amazing queer people who play video games. Yeah,
and it starts with one. And I think that was like one of the big reasons like why I wanted to bring you on and why I wanted to have you, because it starts with one, is that like I found you, I think I followed you in 2021. It was off of a video. I think it was your first million view video was what like where I found you. And then I've had all these different webs of people that I've met through like your comment section, through you retweeting them on Twitter and things of that nature. So if you're not already following Cheer, if I can get an exclamation mark Cheer in the chat, to search her out and follow her, and you'll start beginning this web and you'll start meeting these people. So you talked about encouragement and making sure that people feel encouraged to speak up in voice chat and to speak for the first time. What was that like for you during your first experience when you first started playing?
So I don't really remember when I first unmuted my mic. I do remember I was playing and I was yelling at the people in the lobby, and my ex came over and was like, "Are you yelling at them?" And I said, "No, my mic's muted." So I was still like talking smack to them, but
they didn't know.
But my mic was muted because I knew I was bad, so I didn't want them to, you know, point that out.
Yeah.
So I've just always been like this. Yeah.
And I think and and I'm the same way, is that like I don't always unmute myself when I'm playing games on stream, and I push a talk set on just for that reason. And I had a match today, and I remember it so clearly, of like just people saying things. I like muted him very quickly and moved on from like dealing with him. But then I felt like weird about talking after that, because I was like, can they still hear me? I like muted them. I don't remember how that works. So it's just hard.
Yeah.
Having those spaces. And I want to talk a little bit about kind of the online safety aspect of it. So you mentioned never being doxxed. You mentioned having those situations and hearing something of your local area and hearing that in your voice chat. For people who are online, I have some tips of my own, but what tips do you have for people who are trying to stay safer online and in these spaces?
Have separate accounts. Lock down your personal accounts. Don't use your name online. And just like be smart about like what you're saying, doing, and posting. Like, don't literally ever post a picture where someone can see outside your window. Like, just make smart decisions and know that like people can find anything from like the smallest sliver of information.
No, and I think that's really important that people don't realize a lot of times, is that like that old phrase of like a picture says 1,000 words. And it's true. It really is. And I've been learning a lot for like online safety, and talking to teens and talking to anyone who is online, and making sure you're not saying your first and last name. Making sure like if you are going to use your first name, like remember that, like maybe make a nickname out of it in some way, because you having your friends in voice chat with you, they may slip up and not call you Cheer.
Yeah.
They may call you by your first name, and making sure that like things of that don't happen. And you can always have those situations where they do occur, and making sure like you're potentially deleting something or removing something if you need to, as soon as possible. Like people will take screenshots, those things exist. But like if you by accidentally posted something about like your first and last name, like delete it as soon as possible. And the other thing is like make no face for it. That's something that I learned with streaming, is that like if like for example my first and last name is public online, it has been for over 10 years because of the advocacy work that I do. So like I don't have the luxury of not having my first and last name online. And I was streaming once, and like I think my cell phone number came up on stream by accident.
Oh no.
And I just did nothing. I just like my blank stare, no change in my face, and I just like moved to the next screen and like acted like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Because
that's
then
a really big thing.
No one's gonna clip it. No one's gonna go and do that and go through that. So you've been online, you've been streaming for a while. What does boundaries kind of look like for you and your space online? Like what can people expect coming to a Cheer stream, and what can they expect from your community in that way?
I'm really proud of like the community I curated. Like they are so respectful of my boundaries and my privacy, and like I
No, hype
I
them up because
no,
they.
no,
But
the
it's
thing
like
is I think they're a little scared of me.
good, good. They should be. They should be.
Which
Honestly, they
like I
should
love
be.
them, but like makes me a little happy. Like, yes, please, like
Like fear me.
yeah, but like I'm very strict with my boundaries, and like even recently like I've banned long-term um
Community
like
members.
long-term subscribers and community members because like they crossed my boundaries. Like I was like, hey, you play this one game that just came out, you're not welcome here. And then they're, shocked Pikachu when I banned them. And I'm like, I
You
told
didn't see
you.
my 15, 20 tweets about it.
Yeah.
You
And
like
like, do you see how I treat people who like are mean, and you're worried that, or you're surprised when I react
yeah.
that way, when you're like, you cross my boundaries? Like I don't understand, but yeah. So I've curated a great community, and they are very respectful of my boundaries, and I'm very upfront with like, I'll tell someone like, you're being weird right now and I need you to tone it down or I'm banning you. Like I'm just straight up like, you're weirding me out. I don't like your vibes.
And I think I think people forget that a lot of times, is that like it's the vibes. It's not so much what someone said or what someone's done. Because you can say anything and it can have a negative connotation. You can say anything and it can have a positive connotation. But like, you've curated this space of people who are coming in, who have this expectation, who they're going to be watching you badmouth people who say horrendous things, so they understand that, and they have this space to where they feel safe. And someone tries to change that, it's like, okay, goodbye, like thank you for your time. So with your community, what is like the age range of your community, and like what do you allow in your space?
They're all younger than me and they tell me how old I am.
I'm 28. I'm turning 29 in 4 months. Like, I feel you. I understand you. The 18 year, I'm an 18 plus community.
Me too.
Personally, and it's just like I don't relate to them so much anymore. And I try so hard. To like understand all the lingo, and I'm getting better. I'm getting a lot better, but like I feel old.
Yeah, my community likes to say that I'm 60 years old, which pretty rude of them, but I feel like it's mainly mid-20s. We have some teens. I didn't start off 18 plus. I made it a rule later on, and we had 3 like core community members who were kind of like, I said granddaughtered in because they were too young, but I was like, shh, don't tell anyone. But they're all 18 now. They're like 3 friends, and they help me. I'm like, hey guys, is this lingo correct? And they're like, you're using it so wrong, bestie.
Bestie, I don't use it. It's
Don't
supposed to be this.
You'll never stop.
It's supposed to be this endearing thing, and I only think of it condescendingly.
Oh, I use it every way. Endearing, condescending.
It only
neutral.
feels condescending to me. It like only like someone's like, okay, bestie. I'm like, oh, okay. I see where the line is.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned raising the age of your community. I did that too. I was initially 13 plus, and I eventually got to eventually moved up to 18. Like, what made you move up to 18? Like, what continued to happen for you?
I forget exactly what it was. I think I started off 16. I was like, you have to be like 16 to play with me, because like I was like that. I was 29, so I was like, that's like about half my age. That's my cutoff. Otherwise, it gets weird. Also, I have a younger sister, and I think she was 16 when I started that. So I was like, my sister's aging up. Okay, like I'm fine. I'm fine with that young. And as she's gotten older, I've upped my age range. But yeah, and then like you can always tell when it's a child in chat. No offense to any children in chat, but we know every time. Like I had someone come in the other day and they were like, do you have an age limit to play with you? And I was like, this is an 18 plus stream. And then they immediately started being like, well, why would you make it 18 plus? Bah, 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 bah. And I was like, you're a child. And they're like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not. I was like, don't say your age in chat, but I know, and I'm
Yeah,
banning you. I'm sorry.
so the It Gets Better is 13 plus, which is great because of the platform that we're on.
Mm-hmm.
And I love being able to go back to some of my roots. So I have my degrees in higher education. So like coming to It Gets Better and having this more like nurturing space of like 13 to 18, as well as just like the random ages of people who are going to show up. Reminder, do not say your age in chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to have the space and do those things. And we talked a little bit earlier about you showing up to some of these events. And at those events, like what's that like age range look like? Is that still like the 18 plus vibe a lot of time, or do you sometimes like see younger girls showing up to those things?
The events I've been to have been like only for creators, so
Okay.
it's been just like I think like 20 plus typically.
Okay. Are there any like local things that you're getting involved in, that you're doing outside of stream, that you're comfortable talking about, and like what's that look like for you?
Like stream wise,
Stream
no.
wise, not stream wise. Like I know some people like I like thought about. I used to get involved with Glisten, the Gay Lesbian Straight Education Network here in Connecticut. So like that's something that I used to do.
Okay.
I no longer do. So I wasn't sure if there was any like.
Well, so my cheerleading team is actually a nonprofit.
Oh,
We
great.
are, yeah, so we are an adult LGBTQIA plus and allies cheerleading team. And so we every year pick a local New York City nonprofit to be our beneficiary. And all the events and money we make from those events go towards that nonprofit. So our current one is New Alternatives. So basically, like anytime I'm out cheerleading, I'm raising money for LGBTQIA plus youth.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you do any type of like fundraising on stream as well, or do you mostly spend that time off stream doing that fundraising?
Um, I'm in the talks with my squad about seeing what we can do with
Okay.
my stream and like our events and stuff. But I'm also not the most tech savvy, and they're like,
Hmm.
"You're this Twitch streamer, so you set everything up." And I'm like, "I don't know how." You want to
Yeah,
cheer in my studio? I don't know.
I feel like you might not have enough space for that.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, but it's like we put on drag shows, and we have team talent shows, and we sell raffle tickets for them. And so I've been thinking of my gears have been turning on like how I can stream those.
No,
So
that's great. I think that's really cool to be able to introduce this like side that people don't really see into the live video space, which has been really cool.
mhm.
What you mentioned earlier, right when we first started, you mentioned this organization. I think it was just you and I talking in voice chat. It was something the girls.
Oh, gamer girls.
Yeah, gamer girls. You want to talk? I want to know more about this because it's something I haven't heard of, and I haven't really. I maybe have seen maybe a post of yours about it, but I'd love to know more of what this is, and
Yeah.
maybe have people can get involved if they want to.
Yeah, so that's actually my new project with NYXL is us blending queer culture and video games because we felt like we're here, we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many queer people into video games, but we are like forced to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we've started I believe currently it's just a TikTok and Instagram account
Okay.
for like memes about queer culture and gaming. I do like some React content
Okay.
where I talk about like issues or like just roasting straight people for the straight
Mm-hmm.
people things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also been like doing these like silly little interviews slash quizzes with
Okay.
cishets on Omegle where I
Okay.
ask them like which video game is the most slay, and they're like, what does that mean? And just
I couldn't tell you. I can't even answer that. I don't know.
or like being like, what's your favorite queer video game character? And they're like, why does that matter? Blah, blah.
Okay. I love it. I've seen a lot of those videos of like the Roe v. Bros. Have you seen that on TikTok?
No, I haven't.
Roe v. Bros, and I can share some of these afterwards on social and pull them up. Roe v. Bros, she asked questions to guys about people's female genitalia, or sorry, not
Oh, I
female,
have seen that.
about genitalia, and asked questions about like what is this, what is that. And I think
Mhm.
it's interesting. So I find it interesting that you're doing the type of that same content. So if someone is a well-established gamer and is skilled, is that something that, like, are you forming a team of like all queer team of people playing certain games? Like, what does that look like? Is there anything of that nature happening?
I don't think there's a team. What was I? I'm not like coordinating it. I'm just
Okay,
one of the creators on it. But
cool.
we're all like queer creators making content for, um, like for this account.
No, I love that, and I think that's great. Of like just like having more people in front of more people, and that's
Hmm.
like why I got involved with It Gets Better. Was like to be able to educate more and be in more spaces where I wasn't prior. And with that, you have talked a lot today about your previous experience, what you're doing now, and I would love to know more about where you've kind of seen different warning signs in your career thus far, of like when you didn't join an organization that maybe you were invited to, or why you chose to join these organizations. And talking some about these, I want to talk about these red flags, green flags, because you're mentioning all these great things you're doing, but how does someone know if it's a good thing for them to join? So have you been in organizations or been invited to organizations where you were like, I'm good? And like, what were those red flags that you caught on real quickly?
The only things I could think of is like I didn't catch on quickly, but I once signed with a energy drink company.
Okay.
And then it came out that they were not good people. And so I
Mm-hmm.
immediately, because um my views and the things I promote to my community are so important to me. I'm never going
Mm-hmm.
to like I'm going to be me. I'm never going to like sacrifice my
Yeah.
morals for like random things.
The
Um
money's not worth it at the end of the day.
yeah, no. So I immediately was like, "Hey, I don't want to work with you." Yeah.
You're like, thank you for your time. We're
Yeah.
good.
And instead of emailing me back, they just removed me from everything. So that was
That's
poggers.
fun. I love that.
Yeah.
So like, what green flags brought you to NYXL? Like, how did that relationship start? And like,
So
what can people look for?
it was
Things like
actually
that.
like a contest.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
I won a contest. It was you like made a TikTok video trying to like get their attention and submit that. And
I think I commented on that.
yeah, and
It
so
seems it's triggering my memory a little bit. You started sitting down, and you said to the camera like, "I want to explain to you why I want to be your next favorite creator" or something.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I can remember. See, I remember these things.
But actually the first green flag was they like posted something about, I think they might have reposted that I submitted mine,
Mm-hmm.
and was like, "Oh, like Cheer Girl is like in the running to be one of our finalists." And I retweeted it and I said, "I'm going to win this $50,000 for the girls, the gays and the theys." And then the creative director replied to me and said, "That's who we're doing this contest for." And I was like, "Hell
That
yeah."
warms my heart like right away.
And
That
then like recently I was arguing with a transphobic troll on Twitter, and
as they exist.
mhm, and the troll was like, "Well, I'm telling your company what a horrible person you are and that I'm never working with them again." And again, the creative director replied to that troll and was like, "On behalf of NYXL, we want nothing to do with you. Please stop contacting us." And I was just like, I love my org. I love
No,
them.
and that's great. So it's like, so these green warning signs these green flags right away were, they aligned right with your morals.
Mhm.
They knew the verbiage, they knew why they were supporting you, they knew what they were looking for, which is great and really exciting. So if do they only do like open castings? So like for the creators who are listening, how does someone get invited to that?
I think that NYXL's goal at least is to do it's called the Young Creators Project is what I
Okay.
won. I think their goal is
But
to
you're
do
not
that
young,
every
you're
year.
old.
I know. There was me and another creator, Algebra, who was also in his 30s, and we kept both being like, "How did they let us in here?"
Okay. So their verbiage for young is a wide range.
Yes. But yeah, just like I guess if you see a contest, you can just
apply.
give it your shot. Like,
cool.
Yeah, just always be shooting your shot because it is kind of scary to be a part of esports right now. But yeah, these orgs are always looking for new creators, and I don't know if all of them will be as chill as NYXL, but like
well, we want more of them to be.
Yeah.
So I think from the get-go of like you talking about this organization puts it on other people's radars, gives people more ideas of how they can get involved. Like they have the potential to get involved with It Gets Better, all of these other the Trevor Project, other queer organizations that are up and online, and with working with them, and you've been able to connect with them, are you seeing more like opportunities pop up of like getting involved in more things and doing more, or like what does that look like for you at the moment?
Yeah, I don't know how much I could say, but I've gotten meetings with things that I
meetings
never
with things
thought
are big
were
things.
Possible. Yeah,
yeah, I love that.
And like I some people have in chat have probably seen I did like a promo video for a Sony camera, and I got that through NYXL, and it's just been like really great to have like contacts to be like, hey, like this TikTok video got taken down. Can our social guy like see what he can do about it? And they're like, yes. And just like having people, like having a team behind me is sick.
Yeah, no, it's great. I have my own team, LFM. They oversee Kai on Twitch. He's the largest creator on the platform currently. So I'm part of their lineage, their line, which has been really cool to like have all these connections. I'm going to PAX East. I'm very excited to do all these things. Do you have any events that you're planning on going to this year, or anything that you're looking at?
Yeah, so far the only thing I've nailed down currently is going to the Streamer Awards in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
I did not get a nomination even though I tried, but I'm just really excited to like go to LA and like be in the same room as so many amazing creators. This trip was my my impulse post breakup decision. I just like I saw the tickets went on sale and I was like, I don't know how I'm getting to LA, but I'm buying these tickets. And I've made it work. So
Hey, you figured it out. You made it work. And
yeah,
and
I'm going to LA. I have no plans. I don't know anyone else going, and I'm just gonna see what happens.
I think you'll meet a couple people on the way there. There's a couple streamers in the room who you might know. Maybe they might know you, might know your face. So I want to talk a little bit about what we've talked about already today and go a little bit deeper into that. So we've talked about these trolls who make these comments towards you, and I've kind of kept things a little light and fun because that's like how you want to start and you want to think about it. When like what goes through your brain when you are in these voice chats and people are saying things? Like I'd love to know like what your thought process is there, and like what the like walk us through that in your brain, so that people can kind of like understand.
So many things happen at once. I don't even know like how to walk through it. It's basically like someone says something and I have like a little file in my brain that's like, make the connection of something they said and a good thing that you could say back. Like I can't even think.
So like, so your reaction is always to respond right away. Okay.
It's either respond with like an insult or like a play on what they said, or just like treat them like they're a whiny toddler and be like, oh, poor baby, you have so many big feelings. I'm so sorry. Which also angers them. So
oh yeah, and that adds fuel to the fire. Do you feel like you do you feel like the fuel to the fire, do you have people who back you up at that point? Or do you feel that it's always just like the dog pile then becomes because you spoke up?
Oh, it's always the dog pile. Like dudes can be
Okay.
fighting and I'll be like the boys are fighting, and then all of a sudden it's just everyone in the lobby is yelling at me.
Okay, so like how do you get out of that? Like how like you are in that situation, others are going to potentially be in that situation, and how have you gotten out of that? Like
I just like laugh at them or
okay.
yeah.
No, but
I
like,
just make fun of
laughter is
them.
medicine. Laughter
Yeah.
is medicine. So I think it's important for people to like, I want to walk people through kind of your brain and your thought process with it, because it allows people to mirror that behavior and be able to say like, okay, Cheer did it, I can too.
Yeah. And like I feel like I just remind myself that like the things these dudes are saying have no like they do nothing. They're like sad little boys on the internet who like can't get a girlfriend, and like they're like one missing chore away from getting their Xbox taken away. Like I'm
That's a
making
good
money.
insult. That's a really good insult. Oh, oh,
And like I have their dream job. Like I'm
you
getting
do.
paid
You
to
really
play
do.
video games, and they're mad about it. So like what they say has no weight, and like I 100% understand that like hearing horrible things said to you can affect you, and like I am always one to be like, yeah, like that affects people. It could be hard on your mental health. But for some reason, for me personally, I'm like, well, that's not real. So like it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Okay.
Like people will be like,
So
oh,
you're
remember,
able to separate it.
yeah, like I don't even remember these games half the time. Like they just are in one ear and out the other. It's like I'm just like going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes even like in the middle of a game, people in chat will be like, "Oh my god, did you hear what that kid said?" And I'm like, I tuned them out already. Like I I don't know what
You're
they're
like,
saying.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's this mix of you going from hearing it, backfiling, finding the insult, and or finding the jab back, taking the jab back, but probably having a dog pile happen and just laughing about it. And I, for people who are listening, and there are people who are thinking about like, okay, I've been in voice chats before, I've had these struggles, and just that laughter is a way out of it. And what other ways have you found to get out of it? So we've talked about laughter, we've talked about muting. Is there any other ways that you've been able to like get out of those situations that way?
If I'm like doing good in the game, I'll just point out like either I'm if they're on my team and they're yelling at me, I'm like, I'm carrying you. Like you would not win this without me. Or if they're on the opposite team and I'm doing better than them, I'll be like, please only talk when you have more kills than me. Like you're below me. Please stop.
Okay, so these are great, like giving people their list of their comebacks is kind of what I'm provoking you in this way, is like, because people don't have them. I don't have these comebacks like off the top of my brain all the time. Like a lot of times my comeback is like the scoreboard. That's like the only one. That's like the one that I use all the time. It was just like, and we got the scoreboard over here and you are not on it. And it's just like those are my comebacks a lot of times. It's like scoreboard, the laughter one I'm gonna have to start using more, and just laughing about it, because sometimes people say things and I just like don't know what to say back. Yeah. Exactly. I wish I had Cheers comeback. So like these are good, and this is
I
good
always
to like
tell people like, use what I say. Like watch my TikToks, feel free to use them. Hot girls don't gatekeep. Like you can use my insults on these men. I'm honored.
Honored. And you can even at the end of it be like, sponsored by. And that just like brings the jab even deeper.
Yeah. Unless you're the dude who said my insult to me and I just laughed at him and I was like, you watch my TikToks? You're a fan? Okay. Fan behavior.
Fan behavior is one of my favorites with that. So I love these situations, and how do people start gaming with you. So you mentioned on stream that you play with people or you play occasionally with people. Is that all the time? Is that sometimes? What does that look like
No,
for
so
your space?
despite how outspoken I am so shy and anxious. So
Mm,
I solo queue a lot because I'm just
okay.
afraid to ask people to play, or I'm afraid if I play with someone new, they're gonna hate it the whole time, and then it's
Mm,
gonna be the thing where they're stuck playing with me and they can't get out, but they want to leave, but they're too anxious because I've been in those situations. So
okay.
I solo queue a lot, and I have like a core group of friends. Who I like will invite, but they've all been playing like DMZ.
Mm-hmm.
But Edge
What is
Transit, who is in
DMZ for
chat,
those who don't know?
a DMZ is like a hard version of Warzone. I don't
Okay.
really understand it. I don't like it because you can't yell at people in it.
Okay.
But Edge Transit, who is in chat, just called me out the other day for not asking people to play. So I just started.
Okay.
I want to get an all girls Call of Duty ranked squad going because I
Oh,
feel
I
like
love
that would
that.
be really
I
fun, really funny.
Who is for people who are looking for other female creators, we talk about hot girls don't gatekeep. Who are some of these creators that come to your mind, who you're thinking about potentially playing with? And if you can't think of
um,
anyone, we can post them later too.
Oh my god, I love Carly Lush,
Okay.
Kitchen Kills, Steffi Evans. Steffi is actually the first woman Call of Duty player I saw on TikTok that I was
Okay.
like, ooh, I want to do that. Um, Squid doesn't stream as much, but Squid0044. Sugar Shanley, who is in chat.
Okay.
Brittany with 4 Ys.
Okay. So
I know
these are
I'm
great.
missing some. There's so many,
We'll get these
amazing women.
names written down. You'll send them to me over Discord, and I can share them for people who are looking for them. I'll share it on social, and we can talk about it. Gets better retweeting it so people have them. But this is like, I think that's great of having the full group of queer creators, female creators who you're going to start playing with. Some of them may be queer, some of them maybe not. But I love seeing more of that because that's like something that I do all the time. So like I do Sunday community day, where every Sunday where I'm always playing with people from chat, and that's what I do every Sunday. So it's been great to like bring people in. People have been so shy, just like you've been saying, where they're like, they feel super shy and they don't know what to do. They don't know how that situation works. You've mentioned never being shy with these situations, but also being shy at the same time. So how did you like what made you overcome that shyness to eventually then start streaming?
I got bullied into streaming.
I love that. I love that. We have consensual bullying. Not a great word, but so you got strong armed. Let's use strong armed into streaming. By who? By what? What was that like?
So I had played with Squid0044 on a community night,
Okay.
and she never let me leave after that.
Okay.
She was like, we are friends now, you're playing with me. And then her community would be like, oh my god, does Cheer stream? She's so funny. When does she stream? And I was like, oh, I don't. And Squid was like, no, she does, she's gonna start soon. And I said,
Okay.
I'm gonna what?
You're like, I'm gonna start streaming. Okay, got it. Good. Noted.
Yeah.
My schedule doesn't allow me to do this yet, but we'll find time. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, because I had already posted like silly TikToks of me playing because when I started, I was so bad. And so I would do a really horrible play, but I would still win the game. And so I would be like, LOL, I'm gonna post this, and oh boy, did people get mad about it.
Oh, people get mad. I posted a video the other day about like not understanding how to use one of the characters in Overwatch, and people are like, you have his marquee weapon and you don't know how to use him. And I'm like, yes, I didn't know this. I'm sorry. I am 2 months into the game and I am learning.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this all girl squad, which is super exciting. Do you know of any like locations for femme and queer people looking for other people to game with who might be either all ages or 18 plus?
I don't know if I know of any all ages streamers, but I know Carly Lush does community days on either Tuesdays or Thursdays, I think. A day that starts with T.
Yeah, that's a T. Maybe that ends in Y.
Steffi Evans does community days. I don't do community days. I had some people break my rules, and I just had enough of it.
That important boundary set. You made the boundary, and you don't need to.
Yeah. So I know those are the two off the top of my head that do community games. I think Kitchen Kills might as well, because she's been playing a lot of Valorant.
Okay, so we'll share these names afterwards, and these people can go and look for. And I love the conversation we had earlier about starting this web, and I want to continue this web past that and into your network of people who you know, so people can find places where they can play games. Do you play games in Discord with your community? Anything of that nature happen?
I rarely use Discord.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. People use different things.
Yeah. And honestly, if I'm not streaming, I'm pretty much not playing video games, because I'm editing or meetings or
doing something.
Yeah. Cheerleading. I'm always doing something if I'm not streaming, so I rarely have time for off-stream video games anymore.
Hey, and that's fine. You are booked and busy, which is exciting. So I want to give a space now where if people have questions that they want to ask Cheer or want to ask me for us to talk about, add those in and start putting those in chat. And I want to talk more about where do you find yourself going from here? Like what are your hopes? What are things people can look for, or things that you want to do in the future?
I just wanna keep doing my thing. I feel I don't know why I feel so icky always talking about like my future plans. But like, yeah, I love playing video games, but I also love doing my like little just chatting streams where we like hang out and watch horrifying YouTube videos. We watched really bad cooking videos the other day. And yeah, I just want to like I want to just keep building a great community where I can just like hang out and be myself with them, and just
and I love that. I love the, like, you want to, like, the space you've created is fantastic, and you want to just continue to be yourself. And when new people come in to chat, what are some ways that people might be able to chat who are nervous for the first time chatting with you or chatting in your stream, that they can instantly be one of the group? Like what are some Cheer-isms that someone could know from the get-go to pop in and feel like one of the members of your community?
I don't know. Cheerisms.
Like someone's using this, like, call them a walnut is definitely like one of them.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, call them a walnut. Oh God, I feel like they're
like,
also horrible.
Do you have like commands that people use?
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw some earlier.
Commands. Yeah, okay. There's exclamation point 60, which says yes, cheers 60. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Anytime I lift my arms up, they do exclamation point arms. I have a channel point redemption called Tony, where for 5 minutes I talk like an Italian man from New Jersey.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
There's also like channel point redemptions where you can make me do my cheerleading dances.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I love these easy ways that people can pop in and join and get right one in the bunch, and then right away be a walnut from the get-go. Where do you see FPS gaming going? So you're very involved in Call of Duty and things of that nature. You mentioned how there's been a little less toxicity already. Where do you see it going in the next year, couple years?
I don't know. All I have is Call of Duty, so I hope it doesn't die.
Okay. Would you try something else? Would you play something else?
I've played Valorant. I like Valorant, but my brain will not let me play anything but Call of Duty right now. I was on a good Valorant kick, and then Modern Warfare 2 came out, and I physically can't play anything else. I don't know if it's the autism or what, but I cannot play anything else right now.
And that's okay. I am really hyper fixated on Overwatch 2 right now. I have been absolutely loving it. I've been loving playing it and learning everything I can about it. Where So people, you mentioned a lot of you watching other streamers is how you've learned to play. Is there educational content that you've looked at or like can suggest that someone might be looking for, either Call of Duty or just FPS in general?
Like educational? I don't think so. I've
Okay.
gotten into watching like the Call of Duty League, which is
Okay.
like watching obviously like the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Which has helped, but also kind of confusing because I don't understand how they do everything so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I pretty much just watch like cool women play Search and Destroy / Warzone.
Okay, so no, and I think that's great. Of just like your big suggestion is just watch it, just do it. Sorry, sorry that brand. But like, so you mentioned like being strong armed into content creation. For people who don't have as big of a strong arm, what advice do you have for those people who want to get online and start content creation?
Don't just rely on Twitch. Post everywhere. Post on TikTok, post on Instagram, post on Twitter. When you're posting content, make sure it's hard to find it's hard to like get into the groove, but finding clips that anyone would enjoy, not just like inside jokes between your community, because a random person is going to be like, what? Like, I don't get it.
No,
like,
makes sense.
Or and like posting things that are going to get people commenting and sharing, whether it's good or bad, if you can handle the bad comments. But like my platform was grown on like the angry comments, and but the more angry comments I got, the more of the people who I wanted to see it did see it, of like, oh, look at this girl like arguing with these bigots in a video game. So yeah, posting stuff that anyone would want to comment on / share, and posting everywhere.
Okay.
And understand that it won't be overnight. Not everyone gets lucky. I understand. I got really freaking lucky with
2020 creators got really lucky. I was one of those as well. So I understand and I feel that. What advice do you have people to deal with those comments?
Don't read them. Just don't.
Okay. So not reading them, is there anything else that you've done like to manage them in any way?
I think I've banned certain words. It's been a while since it got really big, really bad. Okay. I had one like big TikTok where I called out a homophobe. It wasn't even that bad, and like he's the one who left the game, but it really angered people, and I could not even go live on TikTok without like just being called slurs. And I think I had to mute the word queer for a while. And just like it got to a point where I just had to like stop reading the comments, not only because they were so bad, but because they were just like, every time I refreshed, my TikTok said like 99 plus, and then refresh 99 plus, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I've been there. I have been there. Not as bad as that, but I've been there, so I understand that. So I think like for me, a lot of the advice that I give for people in online spaces is just delete them. Like if you reading it is making you feel uncomfortable, just delete it. You mentioned earlier about boundary setting, and if people cross a boundary, remove them. It's not worth the energy. It's not worth the space in your brain if someone's going to come in and say these awful things. So we my brain blanked for a second. I don't know why I did. This is my life sometimes today. I'm not sure if that's you at all, where you're just like, I had this idea, I have this plan, and then my brain's just like, no.
Yeah, like you're a sim and someone took away your task, and then
someone took away the task and then added the new one. No, I definitely feel that. So earlier in our conversation, we were talking about aftercare, and I want to go in a little bit more detail. I want to share some stuff with myself. You mentioned that a lot of your aftercare is spending time with other people. For people who don't have someone online to share that time with, where do you suggest that they go? Or like, where do you see spaces where people could be? I guess is my question. Of more of like, you have somewhere to go after your stream. Where does your community go if they don't go on the raid? Like where can people find more
I feel
spaces?
like even if like my community doesn't like, I will see my community, I'll raid out to someone, and then I'll go pop in my friend stream, and my community will like already be in there. And I'm like,
Okay.
hey guys, hey,
And you're like, oh,
like,
hi everyone.
yeah. So like, just like, I don't know, I have such like an amazing network of friends who also stream
Okay.
that like there's pretty much always someone live after I end. And so like everyone just it's like the little after party. Everyone's like, okay, we're here now.
Okay. So when none of those friends are live, and like said, like maybe this will never happen, but none of those friends are live. What are you doing for aftercare for yourself? Like, what are you doing when the computer's shut off?
I like my silence, so I pretty
Okay.
much just like kind of sit in silence, and I'll like either scroll through TikTok, but like some that's been too much lately, or I'll like watch like a relaxing video of like someone playing a game I don't know, and it's just like, okay, bedtime, knocked out.
Okay. So I think that's it. So like finding those different things, and I'll reiterate them as like finding someone to watch online. So like whenever the It Gets Better channel is live, that's like a space that people always can go to. Cheer is going to give us some names after stream for people to also put those out there. I have my laundry list I always share is whenever I can share it. I will always share it. And then going on TikTok and looking at different videos or finding a new game to watch and looking at those new games. Is there anything that you've recently watched that maybe might spark interest for someone else? Like what's that? Like you mentioned you watched this new game. What is that?
Oh, it's been a
Do you
minute
remember?
since I've done that.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Because all my friends have been live. But yeah, I've been so busy, it's not been hard to fall asleep lately.
No, and that's okay. And I think that's like the pro and the con of like being so busy. It's so easy to like just fall asleep and just be like, okay, things are good, I can do that. And then at the same time you also have all these distractions and you have all these things up. I like wish I had some of your energy, but because like I like don't have it sometimes. Like after stream I just like veg for a second and like don't move. And I am not dealing with any of these like just like in my ear of people being rude and people saying these things. So some
Yeah,
advice.
well, I do while I
Go.
watch streams, I do veg. Like it's so hard for me to get out of this chair and actually go into bed because I'm just like, ugh.
Have you fallen asleep in your chair?
No, not yet. I don't think it's comfy enough, but I am planning on getting a comfier one soon, and I'm scared.
That's a pro and a con is falling asleep in the chair. So we don't have any questions, and I also I mentioned earlier, is there anything that you wish that you could ask me, or something on my end that you wish you were able to chat about? I'm giving you the open floor.
I didn't plan.
No, you don't have to. This is just like thinking.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But one thing I did want to mention earlier, but we moved past it, was about like joining an org. Is like I see a lot of people trying to like fit into like a mold of what they think like a content creator should be, and like trying to like always follow the trends and like do this and do that, and like it's like just be yourself. Like I had no intentions of joining an org, and even when I started streaming, I saw that like many streams were like no politics, yada yada, and I was like, okay, like that's what I have to do. But I've always been a loudmouth lady who yells about her opinions. So it wasn't that didn't last long. Like I had to just be myself, and like be yourself, and you will get the opportunities and build the community you want and you need to like be your best.
No, and I think that's like something that a lot of people struggle with is being themselves, and like the pandering does happen. I've been in that situation where I've pandered a little bit, but like that happens, and that is something that can occur. So like you mentioned when you first started streaming, just now, how you weren't able to be you right away because you felt you had to fit this mold.
Mm-hmm.
I also felt that way when I first started streaming, and I think many people feel that way. So hopefully this is like a reminder to people that like you don't need to fit this mold. You don't need to right off the bat like be the cookie cutter streamer that everyone's expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Be you and you'll find your people.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, like look for people and get in those spaces. Like you mentioned how your entire streaming journey started by being in a voice chat with another creator, playing a game with them, and your energy was just energy people wanted in that room and in that space. So it's like it's important to like put yourself out there, take the chance. You've mentioned this multiple times and I'm reiterating it because I think it's important, is to like take the chance to go out there and try. What's the worst that can happen? It's a no.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot, and just all of that. So I want to thank you for spending time with me today, for chatting with me today, and going through all this. I will give a last minute shout out for people who want to ask questions and want to make sure that they've had something that they've been brewing and they're afraid to say it, and they want to. You can always message a mod and they will post it in chat for you too. If someone can do !cheer for me in chat again, so you folks know where to follow Cheer. I am going to talk to Cheer afterwards, get that list of names of the creators that she suggested. And we're going to, I love this question because I'll answer it myself too. And we'll get that list and we'll share that list. But someone asked, what are you most proud of in your career?
There's so... I'd have to say my community. Like, I'm so proud of like the amazing people I've like just gathered. Oh, okay. I'm so...
It's okay. Cats happen. Cats happen. Simon's all over the place.
Don't
it's fine.
show it for free, bestie. Yeah, I'm so proud of my amazing community and how kind they are to each other. Like, there was one time one of my community members came in and they were like, my parents kicked me out for being trans. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And my community, we immediately just like started sending her money, and we were just like, here, however we can help, let's do it right now. And they're always willing to like help each other and support each other, and they're so respectful of me, and they're always cheering me on. And it's just like, that's definitely my proudest part of content creation in my career.
And I would say that to me, like me as well, is just like my community has always been and always will be people who've like supported me from the get-go and supported each other. And like when I lost my job in the beginning of the pandemic, my community was there right away and was like, yes, we're there to support you, we're there to have you, and we want to see you succeed, and we want to see you go forward and like that continue. I want to say thank you for having you here with me today. We are going to transition into sending a raid out today to another fantastic creator from the It Gets Better channel. Do you have any parting words for people in chat?
I don't think so. Just thank you so much.
Always. So we are going to be sending a raid over to Frank the Pegasus, who is another fantastic queer creator who is a part of It Gets Better. We have our raid command that should come up in chat in a second if Stream Elements wants to do it. There we go. So this uses all free emotes. So if you are coming along this raid with us, all these emotes are 100% for free. They're all emotes that are from Twitch. If you do not have any of... If you want to share any other emotes from any other channels, please do that. I would love to see those things. I hope you folks join any of our other streams that we have here on the It Gets Better channel, as well as joining Cheer whenever she is live and whenever I am live. And we will be sharing all that information on our socials, so you folks will have all of that. Can I get a last second? I'm going to do an exclamation mark cheers so you folks have her information, and I will do an exclamation mark Shawn so you folks can find me, and all of my socials and my information is there. So see you folks all soon. Thanks so much for being here. Let's go say hi over to Frank.